I'm going to show you 4 different techniques I use to avoid tear out when scribing and cutting a solid worktop. I'm set up in the workshop at the moment, so this is a mock-up, and we've got a wall which is a bit all over the place, and the first scriber I'm using is a pocket skinny boy scriber, and that's about the smallest scriber on the market, I think. So we'll scribe a line and then use the jigsaw upside down for this first technique. I've got the workpiece clamped to the bench. I've also clamped a piece of MDF to the bottom of it, and that's just to help prevent the jigsaw from twisting. So I've also set the blade on an angle. The advantage of this technique is that because the blade is cutting downwards, you won't get any or very little tear out, and I can also see the pencil line. The disadvantage is that it's awkward, so it's not for the inexperienced. So let's try the fit. So, okay, there's a very slight gap there, so I would do a bit more work on it, but it's pretty close. For the second method, I've cut a bit of 4mm MDF and I've stuck it onto the top using double-sided tape. I'm going to make a pencil line again, and then I'm going to jigsaw with the MDF in place, and the MDF should stop any tear out. And for this scribe I'm going to use a standard FB or Fat Boy scriber, which is that. So it's all locked in, ready to go. Okay, I'm set up now again with the workpiece clamped to my workbench. So I'm about to follow the line that I marked on the MDF. Again, the blade is set at a slight angle, and obviously the advantages of this is you're not fighting the thing being upside down like that. The disadvantage is that it can be a bit tricky to follow a pencil line, especially when there's a lot of dust going on, so you have to keep blowing the dust off, but it's all doable. Okay, let's try the fit this time. Again, that's sort of acceptable. There's 1 or 2 gaps which I would spend a bit of time on just getting rid of, but it's not too bad. So method 3 is to again use a bit of 4mm MDF, but I'm going to make a template this time. And when I've cut the MDF to shape the contour, then I'll stick it onto the worktop and then do the jigsawing. So for this third method, I'm going to use a big boy scriber. So this is a bit larger than the standard FB scriber, and I've got it set up with a bearing base. The bearing base has 3 bearings, and it works on the same principle as a 3-legged stool in that all 3 bearings will always be touching the surface, and they make for a very smooth scribing action. So I've cut this template now and shaped it, so that's a pretty good fit on there. So I shall now stick it onto the worktop. I'm set up again on the workbench, ready to make another cut. I've got the template stuck onto the worktop, and it's also clamped down as well so it can't move. What I'm going to do is run a scalpel just down that line, and that will completely eliminate any tear out, but it'll also give me a definite line to work to if I'm slightly shy with the jigsaw. I've taken the template off, and because I'm just slightly shy in one or two spots with the jigsaw, because I've got that scalpel line, I can just come in with a rasp and just work up to the line. So we'll try the fit again. So that's acceptable. That's quite a good method because you definitely have a line to work to. The last method is to score the timber rather than using a pencil, and that scored line then becomes the line that you jigsaw to. And to do this, I'm using another Tooley Park attachment. This is a chairmaker's marking wheel holder, and it holds a Veritas marking wheel, and that's what scores the timber, and it's set up in a deluxe Fat Boy Scriber. So when you're using the chairmaker's marking wheel holder to score the timber, you need to do light cuts and get your body in the right position. And 3 or 4 light cuts is better than trying to go mad with the first cut and go too deep, because you'll lose control. So again, I'm clamped up on the workbench. Now if I peel this front bit of masking tape away, then I'm left with a nice line to cut to, which is scored. So in theory I shouldn't get any tear out, but it's a definite line I can see between the masking tape and the wood. So it's a case of just cutting as accurately as I can to the masking tape line. Okay, let's try the fit for the last time. So again, that's acceptable. I like this method just because I find it more accurate to jigsaw to a scored line rather than a pencil. These are the 4 scribers that I used. The first one was the Pocket SB or Skinny Boy Scriber. The next one was the FB or Fat Boy Scriber. Then we went on to the BB or Big Boy Scriber with the bearing base, and then finally the deluxe Fat Boy Scriber with the chairmaker's marking wheel holder. So if you're interested in any of the scribers, please visit tooleypark.com My name's Philip. I make the tools myself in my workshop in Leicestershire, UK, so you would be dealing directly with me. And thanks for watching.